Swipe Up, episode 232, the podcast where I share my unfiltered thoughts on the latest news and entertainment updates. I'm your host, Ray Taylor, and every Thursday I'll be bringing you a fresh perspective on a variety of topics. 4chan troll living with his mom arrested for threatening an anti-Nazi sheriff. I don't know if people have seen the video of this sheriff, Richard Golden. Richard Golden is a 4chan user in his mid-30s, was arrested for allegedly threatening to kill Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood on March 1st. So this sheriff, Mike Chitwood, there's been a couple of his rants, right? Clearly anti-Nazi and something that's refreshing to see. Not only refreshing to see a sheriff, somebody that is involved with law enforcement, actually being on the side of justice in a passionate way, but also somebody who works for the government to be, especially in Florida, to be passionately against these Nazis. Versus governors of states like Florida, like Ron DeSantis, who have no problem with Nazis and their support of their campaign, right? Like Trump, who said that there's plenty of good people on both sides, right? The majority of conservatives, or every single conservative, doesn't really do much to point out or distance themselves from the Nazis in this country. So it's refreshing to see somebody who works for the government be so passionately against Nazis for a change. It's really sad. It's really sad that this is a unique thing to see. This is a novel thing to see online, that somebody in politics, in working for the government, would be so passionately against the Nazis. It's actually very sad that this isn't more of a standard operating procedure when it comes to Nazis in this country, which seems like they have been rolled out the red carpet ever since Trump became president, right? Really felt emboldened with the white supremacists that have been elected in many, many positions throughout our government, under the banner of the Republican Party. So, kind of amazing to see this guy, and I would highly recommend checking out this dude's videos online, Sheriff Mike Chitwood, because this is the energy that we should get from every politician, not just some random sheriff in Florida. I'm surprised he's still a sheriff in Florida, considering how against a lot of DeSantis' base that he is. DeSantis is pretty good about getting rid of people that disagree with him. So wouldn't be surprised if Mike Chitwood gets transferred at some point. But it's good to see what he did here. Golden was arrested at his mother's home in South Brunswick, New Jersey, and had his computer and electronic devices seized from his bedroom. Chitwood went viral for an anti-Nazi rant that he went on at a recent press conference addressing the rise of white supremacy, the rise of white supremacist and anti-Semitic stunts in this country. I mean, it's like every day you see some laser projected laser swastika projected on some building, some skyscraper, some sports building, right? They hang flags. I mean, they feel very comfortable letting people know that Nazis are here because so many people in the Republican Party really do a lot to protect them, do a lot to embolden them and keep them from facing any kind of punishment. I mean, we've seen the Republicans vote against trying to weed out white supremacists and Nazis from the military. So it's like the Republicans actively protect these types of people. So it's refreshing to see somebody in the government not do that. But of course, we're seeing a lot of that. So of course, there's a rise in it. So so he's calling it out. Finally. Wow. It's sad that it's so refreshing. Golden allegedly wrote on 4chan, "Just shoot Chitwood in the head and he stops being a problem." I could see Trump saying very similar things about every just Republicans in theory, right? Allegedly. I could just imagine a reality, right? This is a fictional hypothetical I'm putting out there, that I could see a lot of Republicans, whether they're in office or not, have said similar things privately about not only this sheriff, but about anybody of a race or sexual preference or identity that isn't a straight white Christian male. But yeah, so just shoot him in the head, and he stops being a problem. They have to find a new guy to be the problem, but shoot Chitwood in the head solves an immediate problem permanently. Just shoot Chitwood in the head and murder him. End quote. These are all the quote from this guy Golden, which, you know, things like 4chan, which is something that Twitter is turning into, right? Where when you see Elon Musk take over Twitter, you see an exponential rise in similar things that you see, which is pretty commonplace on 4chan. Chitwood has been sounding off about numerous neo-Nazi and white supremacist groups who have set up residence in South Florida, including the Goyim Defense League. The GDL is described as an extremely anti-Semitic street theater troupe. Wow. Chitwood's office, probably as a way to excuse their behavior as an art form, as a means of expression to be protected by the First Amendment, right? We're able to say whatever we want because this is a performance piece, right? Like, not like the government is actively trying to eliminate the First Amendment, right? Trying to ban TikTok, trying to really give them an open-ended excuse to shut down anything involved with any kind of dissent in any way against whatever the government is used to help profit big businesses and make sure millionaires keep their profits rolling in. Chitwood's office has other active subpoenas for people who made other online threats against him. Golden is expected to be charged with the threat of serious bodily injury or death by written communication. Chitwood made a comment about Golden's appearance and living situation, saying, being 38 years old and living in my mother's back bedroom with no job. I mean, that's kind of a common critique you could lay on almost any online troll. All of the people that have their private burner accounts that feel absolutely comfortable throwing out as much hate speech as possible and complaining about how they have to have a private burner account because their last account got canceled. They got canceled for their hate speech. It's an insane reality we're living in this country. It is insane. Let's move on. So I'm happy that sheriff is out there. We'll see how long he lasts, right? I hope he lasts a long time. I hope he becomes governor of Florida, right? I like that attitude. Anti-Nazi. Let's make him in charge. Let's see the contrast in human rights between the current fascist governor of Florida and somebody like this anti-Nazi sheriff.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.